Hello and hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing? So the German Autobahn, iconic. I mean, it's the first thing I reacted to about Germany on this channel was the German Autobahn because it's iconic. Everybody knows the German Autobahn, no speed limit, at least on most of it, and that's iconic because I don't think anywhere else. I mean, obviously, nowhere else in the world has anything quite like it. But why? Why does it have no speed limit? That's an interesting question. Somehow I had never really thought of that question, like why? I mean, I would think the answer is, well, why not? If you can somehow figure out a way to make a highway that has no speed limit and do it safely, then that sounds awesome. But let's hear the actual reason by Explained. Check them out, link down below. Oh my gosh, 6 million views on this video. I do see that, you know, not everybody liked the video, so I don't know what that means. But let's see.
You can drive as fast as you want with no risk of punishment. No flashing blue lights, no speeding tickets, just complete speed freedom. But this road...
They'll just send you the ticket in the mail in Germany.
...has a dark...
No, they won't send you a ticket on the Autobahn, I guess, for speeding, huh?
...dark history. And that freedom may not last much longer. So where is this road?
Uh-oh! Jump scare.
Is it safe?
Crap.
And can you really drive as fast as you like? Welcome to Explained.
You can drive as fast as your car will let you. Hold on. My son is going crazy downstairs. So I apologize if you can hear that.
Across Germany, you'll find the Autobahn, the German highway system that literally translates as automobile track. It's over 13,000 kilometers long, and there's absolutely no speed limit. Whatever.
Now, they're passing this guy who's to the left of them, huh? So whose fault is that? Is that this guy's fault for being in the left lane, or is that their fault, or is it just everybody's fault, or is it nobody's fault because they're obviously just driving way faster than anybody else would ever conceive of driving under normal conditions?
Whatever speed the car is capable of is legal, but the Autobahn was a home for speed long before it stretched across the country. The fastest speed ever recorded on the Autobahn was all the way back in 1938.
What? How is that still the record?
Rudolf Cacciolo drove a V12 Mercedes-Benz W125 at a
look at that thing.
ridiculous 435.5 kilometers per hour.
What is that in miles per hour? I need to know. Oh my God. How fast? 435?
Kilometers per hour.
435. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm searching this up. 270. Okay, no wonder it's not been broken. Did he survive this? Did they shut down the Autobahn for this?
In more recent times on the Autobahn, the RUF R-Turbo has been clocked at 335 kilometers per hour. A Bugatti Veyron reached 352
What a beautiful car.
kilometers per hour, and a Porsche 9FF G-Turbo 850 hit a ridiculous 380 kilometers per hour. And while the record has never been broken,
It almost looks like we're on a motorcycle.
mainly due to the Autobahn being slightly busier now than it was way back before the war.
Oh, yeah. That is amazing. 210, 215.
Yes.
I just had an orgasm. Did you have an orgasm?
That doesn't mean you won't see
That's just a regular Tuesday on the Autobahn, isn't it?
blazing speeds.
I mean, most cars, I guess, can't even get up to 130. I don't know. Do you think my Corolla could get up to 130, guys? I've never tried. Maybe if it was 45 degrees downhill.
You'll find videos all over the internet of Bugattis, Porsches, Ferraris, and more flying down the German highways.
Yeah.
But while this idea may excite
And they never get old.
petrol heads everywhere, the German Autobahn has a dark history. In 1932, the first
Of course, we all know.
ever unofficial piece of the Autobahn was created. The A555 connected Cologne and Bonn and had no speed limits. It was known as the Diplomats' Raceway. Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany in 1933 and saw the potential that a vast highway
Yes, we all know he expanded the Autobahn.
system had. As World War II raged on,
They have shovels?
photos were released of happy, healthy Aryan workers building the Autobahn alongside their Führer. In reality,
Okay, I've never seen that. That's interesting. That's kind of funny. I'm just thinking of how different the times are, and like, you know, even casting everything else aside about that whole situation, just seeing all those dudes walking down with shovels like that, like what? Who are these people? How were they contracted? Were they government employees? I guess. Was it like the military? And the fact that they're all using just shovels.
released
Man,
of
what a
happy,
different time.
healthy Aryan workers building the Autobahn alongside their Führer. In reality, all the able-bodied workers were either on the front line or in the factories. And the creation of the Autobahn during the war was left up to forced workers and concentration camps.
Not surprised.
Nowadays, the German Autobahn is one of the longest highway systems in the world.
What a dick.
But why doesn't it have a speed limit?
And you guys talk about us Americans driving crazy. You guys talk about us riding in the left lane. Look at this guy. I'm just kidding.
Put simply, it's never had one. And it's never needed one. But is it safe? Per capita, traffic-related deaths in Germany are one of the lowest in the world, with just 3.7 deaths per 100,000. That's a
It can only work in a country where the drivers are good and intelligent. Not to, I don't know, gas you guys up too much. But it is the case, Germans are pretty smart and they care a lot about driving. And they stick to the rules, you know what I mean? You don't have a bunch of idiots camping out in the left lane, towing a trailer, and then, people weaving in and out, except like that guy we just saw.
It's around 70% less than the United States,
Whoa.
who has strict speed limits throughout the country. So is faster safer? Probably not. While the Autobahn is freedom for driving fast, it's not freedom for tailgating.
Is that dude being towed, or is he really 3 inches from his bumper? Oh my god.
Drivers who ride the bumper of the car in front risk a €375 fine and the possibility of losing their license for 3 months.
I need to react to some more Autobahn clips. These things, I can't get enough.
It's also tougher to get a driving license in Germany. And while drivers are free to put their foot down on the Autobahn, studies show that the average speed on a 6-lane stretch is still only 142 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
It's also
142. 142. 88. What the hell is my computer doing, guys? Actually, I know what it's doing, but I just did not foresee that. Anyway, 88. That's pretty freaking fast. 88 miles an hour. See, that's fast enough to go back in time. I don't know of anywhere in the United States where you can drive 88 miles an hour legally. That's probably about as fast as I've ever drove. Yeah, I might have got up to 88 like once ever. Maybe not. Once you're in the 80s, my gosh, that is really fast here in America.
also important to note that not all of the Autobahn is speed limit free. Sectors in urban areas or under repair, as well as accident-prone portions of the highway, will generally have 130.
I never thought about that, but that obviously makes sense. Under repair. You can't be flying through at 300 kilometer per hour when they're repairing the Autobahn.
30 kilometer per hour speed limit. And just because there's no speed limits does not mean the drivers have no responsibility. As
that? No, it means they have more.
Speed increases, so does a driver's liability if there's a crash.
That's interesting. The faster you're going, that's like a factor that comes into play. How fast were you going? As far as who's responsible for a crash.
Courts in Germany have ruled that an ideal driver will not go faster than 130 kilometers per hour. Once you exceed that speed, the responsibility of the driver increases with it.
That's actually pretty cool. I mean, it makes some sense. It's kind of a weird thing, like black and white, like 130. Okay, that's pretty arbitrary, but okay. It is true. Once you start going over that, I mean, yeah, that's really fast. Dumbass.
Anytime a
See, that guy wasn't even going fast. The guy going slow here was the moron, right?
the responsibility of the driver increases with it.
So, yeah, that does not apply here.
Anytime a serious crash happens due to fast speeds, the pressure to bring in the limits increases.
What was that? Just staring at your cell phone?
In 2003, a Mercedes test driver was jailed for just 18 months after being found guilty of manslaughter. Rolf Fischer's aggressive driving caused a young mother to panic and lose control of her car.
Wow.
She died along.
Wow. That is the kind of thing I think about. That's why I could never be one of those guys flying through in a Bugatti, weaving through the traffic. Like, it's not just... I feel like those people just don't think. It's either they don't think or they don't care that it's not just about your skill and whether you have it or not. Which even that, it's like, okay, buddy, maybe you have the skill and maybe you think you do, but I don't trust that you do. So don't do that anywhere near me. But not just that, it's also like, I'm trying to drive and you doing that. You know, I might slam on my brakes not knowing if you're going to be able to hit that gap. And then I've slammed on my brakes and I might get tail or rear-ended and then I'm going flying. You know what I'm saying. Just driving recklessly is stupid.
The young mother to panic and lose control of her car. She died
That's
alongside
very
her
sad.
2-year-old daughter.
Wow.
According to a recent poll, 60% of Germans actually support the idea of a limit on the Autobahn,
Most people.
with just 38%.
You know, polls can be weird. So anytime they say they have a poll and there's a result that I'm surprised by, I'm like, is that really accurate? I think we need another poll because I don't know. That would just surprise me. Over here in America, at least, you know, anytime there's any like polls about, hey, should we raise the speed limit? The results are like, yeah, raise it. People want to go fast. People like going fast. They don't like being restricted. So it would, and you guys are, you know, a lot of you guys are pretty proud of the Autobahn, and rightfully so. It is a really cool thing. So I'm just a little bit surprised. 60%? Okay. I guess I have to take them at their word, but you know what? I'm going to run a poll. Autobahn speed limit. We'll see those results.
Saying there should be no limit whatsoever. Even the German king of speed, Sebastian Vettel, is in favour of an Autobahn speed limit, saying it is a no-brainer. But it's not just because of safety fears that's driving Germans to favour restrictions. Introducing a speed limit could save 2 million tonnes of fuel every year. This is not just an important climate goal, but also would help reduce Germany's reliance on Russian oil.
So how's that? I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting, the efficiency of an engine. They get more efficient the faster they go, but then after a certain threshold, they start getting less efficient again. Isn't that right? So I guess, yeah, once you're once you're going over that threshold, it starts becoming inefficient to go that fast. Yeah, okay.
But what
I mean, I know you guys care a lot about the climate and like, you know. So maybe that's a big factor for why 60% apparently say yes to a speed limit.
do you think? Should the Autobahn stay a place of freedom for speed lovers? Or is it
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, to be honest, it's like, I don't know. And I could be wrong, and I'm not even German, so it doesn't matter what I think at all. But it just, if I feel like if I'm being like super mature and yes, it's like, yeah, I guess a speed limit, you know, that would make sense. That would be the mature, you know, boring thing to do. And that typically is how things, you know, end up going toward. Things typically go toward being more safe and more restrictive. It doesn't usually go backwards, you know. If the Autobahn ever gets a speed limit, it's never gonna go back to the way it was. That's a prediction I will have. So that makes me hesitate on, like, guys, you better be sure if you want a speed limit, it's never going away. But maybe that's the... I don't know. I say no speed limit. That's what I say. Whatever. That's what I say. It's a cool thing. Okay. Can we have some fun, please? You guys are very responsible people. I think you deserve to have some fun. Then again, it's dangerous. I don't know. It's up to you guys. I'm interested in what the poll will say. That was really interesting. Go check out Explained. Link down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.